everybody. This is Patty Sliney, Handy Quilter National Educator. And I had a question during one of my virtual classes that I was teaching today. And the question was, can you use a non-continuous line design and repeat it as an edge-to-edge design? And so the answer was not really, not in the way that you would like. Um, for example, a block design, because those designs don't contain the criteria that allow you to repeat a design and have it be repeated horizontally and then connect. So for example, I'm just going to open up any random design here that I happen to have available, and this little design is in our continuous lines folder. It's a helicopter. And it will repeat horizontally because it contains two very important criteria. It has a start point on the left, stop point on the right, and if I use my crosshairs as kind of a line to place a horizontal line across, you can see that both the start point and the end point are on the same horizontal plane. Those are the two criteria that a design must have in order for you to be able to repeat it horizontally and have those design elements connect to each other. So I did say that there is a way, and I've done a video on this before, but I just happened to pick out a block and show them that it can be repeated, but it won't connect. So if I repeat this, you can certainly repeat it, but because it has a start and a stop right in the middle, both on top of each other, there's going to be a jump stitch between every one of those design elements, and you're going to have a tie-off at the start and a tie-off at the end, and it would be very tedious to try to stitch this out. However, as you can see, it looks very cool as an edge-to-edge design, so I thought, you know what? I can show you how to turn this block design into an all-over edge-to-edge design. It's actually really easy to do. This can be done both in Pro Stitcher Premium and Pro Stitcher Lite. So I've done a video on this before, but because I liked how this looks so much, I'm going to do one for you again. So I've opened up this block design. I'm going to baseline it because I was fiddling around with it. I just want this clean single design, and I'm going to turn my grid on because it'll be a little bit easier to see. And I am going to get this design so it is right on a grid line. So that way I can use my grid as a guide. And the tool that we want to use is going to be on the Pro Stitcher tab. It's called Record, and we're going to use the Mark tool. And I do not believe Lite has snap to grid, only Premium does. So for Lite users, you just want to be very accurate. This allows me to be semi-accurate because it's going to snap my design points that I create right to the grid line. So to do this, we're going to have to create a line segment that's going to travel from here to here, and then another line segment that will start here and end here. So then we'll have three designs on the screen. We'll have a line segment, and the design. And then I'm going to group them in order of stitch out and baseline them to create a new design. So I'm going to take my crosshairs and I'm going to place them where I want to start my very first line segment. And I'm going to touch mark. And then I'm going to move my crosshairs to the middle here, and I'm trying to be accurate for Pro Stitcher Lite users, and touch mark again. So I've created a line segment, and I know that because it's got a freehand line segment. Then I'm going to baseline that. So now I'm going to move this off so you can see I've got a line segment here. I'm going to create a second line segment, and it's going to go from the middle of the design to the end of the design here. and then I'm going to baseline it again. So now I have my block, and I'm going to move my crosshairs off so you can see my first line segment and my second line segment. And I want to select them in order so they stitch out correctly. So it would be first line segment should be in the first position. The block design should stitch out second, and my second freehand line segment should stitch out last. So I'm going to use my select none button to deselect everything. And then I'm going to use multi-select, and I'm going to select them in stitch out order. So left line segment, block design, and now I'm creating a temporary group, and then my last line segment. And so they're in order. You can see that they're connected because I have a black square. Turn off my multi-select, and then I'm going to baseline that. And I'm going to turn my grid off so you can see better. So now I have a new design that meets that continuous line criteria. Start point on the left, stop point on the right. Both points are on the same horizontal plane, and I can check that with my crosshairs, and they are. So now when I go to repeat, I can repeat these and they will connect. And I can repeat them vertically. And that looks really cool. If I want to offset every other row, I can use repeat, wrap, and then click the half button in the row box, and it will offset them so we get a little bit different look. So that is how you create an all over edge to edge design from a block design. Now, not all block designs are amenable to this. And yes, we do get a line that runs through it, but I think it looks really nice. And I actually like it both ways. I like it this way and I like it this way. So you've got endless options for creating new designs with the designs that you already have in ProStitcher, just by making a few modifications, and you can do it right in ProStitcher Premium or Lite. So hope that helps. Have a little fun, practice in simulation, see if you can do this. I used block 11, and that was from the from the one PS Designs block designs, and it was block 11 that I used. But you can try a lot of our block designs and see if there's other ones that you can turn into continuous line designs by creating some line segments and then grouping them in stitching order and baselining them. So have fun and happy stitching.